course, Ian joins us right now via the DC Creasman Jewelers Wise Lines, and it is our Major League Baseball update. It's presented by Mike and the crew at Happy Hill Restaurant. All right, Ian Castleberry, great to have you back. Hope you're doing all right today, friend.
Yeah, doing well. How about you?
Good. And which is perfect because we got lots to run down, including the Braves off to the World Series. And Ian, it's going to take a gritty performance to beat the Astros, but the Braves are good at gritty, especially this postseason, and especially in the bullpen. Kind of one-time weakness this season, the bullpen came through in some big moments, certainly against the Dodgers. Can the pen still keep this going against the Astros?
I don't see why not. It was a key in the win over the Brewers, and certainly in the LCS versus the Dodgers. And to keep this Astros lineup handcuffed, under control, the bullpen is going to have to pitch well. And the bullpen's been outstanding in this postseason, 3.56 ERA. However, there's one team that's been better out of the bullpen, and that's the Houston Astros. They have a 3.42 ERA. So the Astros bullpen has also been strong. But I think, as we'll talk about, I think Atlanta does have a pitching advantage overall in this series.
Yeah, let's get to that. So we'll start first with the Braves. All right. So, Ian, the Braves win the World Series if they
continue to pitch well, especially their starters. If Max Fried, Ian Anderson, and Charlie Morton have pitched as well in the World Series as they did in the NLCS, as they did in the divisional series, they will win the World Series. Their bullpen obviously needs to continue to pitch well, but if the Astros, they have arguably the superior lineup, but I think Atlanta has a big-time advantage right now in starting pitching, and if their top three pitch as well as they have been, I think that's going to give them the edge.
Man, all right, so Ian, on the flip side, the Astros win if they
hit as well as they hit against the Red Sox. They have a deeper batting order than the Braves. I think, Braves fans might disagree with me here, but I think other than Eddie Rosario and some flashes from Freddie Freeman, their lineup hasn't been spectacular, whereas the Astros, you look up and down their lineup. Of course, Yordan Alvarez has been almost as hot as Eddie Rosario, but Carlos Correa has hit well, Alex Bregman, Yuli Gurriel. If those guys continue to hit well, and if they are able to chase Atlanta's starting pitching out of the game, in the second or third innings, say, that's going to give the Astros a big advantage.
All right, man. It gets underway tomorrow night. 8:07 is the first pitch. Atlanta at Houston. And then I think they're going like two, the first two in Houston. The next three will be in Atlanta. So they'll be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then if necessary, Game 6 and 7 back in Houston Tuesday and Wednesday. So here we go. Good luck to the Bravos for sure. All right, Ian Castleberry joining us on the DC Creasman Jewelers Wise Lines. Of course, our baseball update presented by Happy Hill Restaurant. And Ian, it's kind of weird to be asking this question, seeing he won a World Series just last year. But is Dave Roberts' job safe with the Dodgers?
I could see, there being some questions, and Dave Roberts has certainly taken some criticism, and I think justifiably so, in this postseason and past postseasons. But, we're talking about a manager who went 106 and 56 during the regular season this year, got to the NLCS, 6 postseasons since he's taken over as the Dodgers manager, 3 National League pennants, 5 NL West titles. They've won a World Series championship. If that was any other manager, would we be talking about, him possibly being, his job status possibly being in jeopardy? I think Dave Roberts does make people mad because he seems to get a little too cute sometimes. The stuff with opening with Corey Knebel and then bringing a guy in. He brought in Max Scherzer during the division series for a save, and that may have cost them in the NLCS because Scherzer admitted his arm was dead by Game 2, and he really didn't have it. So I think those are valid criticisms, but it's not Dave Roberts' fault that there were injuries to Max Muncy, Justin Turner, Dustin May had an elbow injury during the regular season. It's not necessarily his fault that Max Scherzer's arm went dead, although, you can say the fact that he pitched Scherzer in the division series in Game 5 may have contributed to that. So, by and large, I don't think there's any way Dave Roberts is in trouble here, but he is going into the final year of his contract for 2022. Understandably, he'll want a contract extension. He doesn't want to be a lame duck, in the final year of his contract and that would really up the pressure on a job and a team that experiences arguably the most pressure in Major League Baseball right now. So I think Dave Roberts is safe, but I understand the question.
Ian Castleberry with the Wise Guys. All right, so Ian, Roberts aside, what changes do you think the Dodgers will make in the offseason?
They certainly need to add starting pitching, and that's amazing to say for a team that has the depth, or had the depth, that the Los Angeles Dodgers had going into the season. But of course, Trevor Bauer was unavailable due to his domestic violence concerns. I'm not certain exactly why David Price seemed to fall out of favor. I think he's somebody that should have been on the NLCS roster to begin with. But they could lose Clayton Kershaw. They could lose Max Scherzer. They could lose Corey Seager. Kenley Jansen is a free agent, and Chris Taylor is a free agent. They are unlikely to bring all 5 of those players back. If I had to guess, I would say they would bring Max Scherzer and Corey Seager back. But we saw in the NLCS, Chris Taylor, an extremely valuable player, even though he's a role player. Kenley Jansen, he's a very good closer, but they could probably replace him with Blake Trinan. Corey Seager is intriguing because he is an outstanding shortstop. Maybe they could play him at third base, but the Dodgers got Trey Turner at the trade deadline, and Trey Turner can play shortstop, and maybe Justin Turner has one more year at third base. It's conceivable that the Dodgers would decide, okay, we need to devote whatever money we would pay to Corey Seager to getting a starting pitcher, and I think that's where they need. They need to go 3, maybe 4 deep in their rotation for the postseason, maybe more than that during the regular season, and continue to build up what's been an outstanding bullpen.
Word on the street is that Corey Seager's looking for $300 million. Where's this money coming from, and do you think the Dodgers will oblige?
I don't think they're going to oblige for $300 million. And I know a lot of people are going to say, the Dodgers can pay more than anybody. They have a huge payroll. They do. But again, they have other guys who can play. If it's not Trey Turner, it could be Gavin Lux. They have guys, for all the money and the big names that the Dodgers have signed over the years, their development has been a key to their success. They don't just write a check to everybody. They develop a lot of players, and they have guys who could replace Corey Seager. And if Corey Seager is looking for $300 million, he's not going to get it from the Dodgers, I don't think. I'm not sure where he's going to get it. My Detroit Tigers need a shortstop. They're not paying $300 million for Corey Seager. I can almost guarantee that.
Yeah, agreed there. That seems a little bit bizarre right there. Ian Castleberry joins the Wise Guys. We're rolling right through our Major League Baseball update presented by Happy Hill Restaurant. And Ian, as you figured, the Cardinals have hired their new manager from within.
Yeah, Oliver Marmol, who has been Mike Shilt's bench coach the past 3 seasons. The Cardinals typically hire from within. They don't go out, not since Tony La Russa really have they gone out and signed, a manager who's available on the market. And there were names out there, Buck Showalter for one, but Marmol, he's only 35 years old. He's extremely popular with the players. Even though the Cardinals fired Mike Shildt, I think the front office and general manager John Mozeliak didn't want to commit a big shakeup here. I mean, the Cardinals have been successful. That's why it was so baffling that they fired Mike Shildt. But we still don't know why they fired Mike Shildt exactly, but it's apparent that the Cardinals want to keep a good thing going, and maybe they think Marmol is a better candidate. He's younger. He speaks Spanish. He's a little more analytically inclined, which we've heard is one place where Shildt in the front office may have butted heads a little bit in St. Louis. And I've also heard some thoughts that the Cardinals were worried that if they didn't do something with Marmol, they were going to lose him to another team. Now, there are only 2 other managerial openings, but Marmol could have been up for the Mets job, for instance. But the Cardinals, they're taking care of that. They're hiring Marmol. He's somebody who could be, at 35 years old, who could have that job if they're successful enough, could conceivably have that job for 10 plus years.
And Mike Shildt, word on the street is that he interviewed with the Padres, but we've not heard anything since then, have we, Ian?
No, there hasn't been any other word with Mike Shildt, even if he has officially interviewed with the Padres, or if that was supposedly that happened this weekend, but there hasn't been any word as to how that went. And I haven't seen, nor have there been any reports of Shildt being up for any other managerial openings right now.
Man, Well, we'll see where that goes. I'm going to be out Thursday starting vacation, Ian, but while we've got a few minutes, normally Thursdays, I know with football season, I've been kind of off and on Thursdays, and part of the bummer of that is that we don't always get to catch up for our NFL Gold Nuggets, which you're so good at. But I want to get your thoughts on Deshaun Watson and the Panthers reportedly looking into a trade for Deshaun Watson. And, Chris Womack brought up a good point that, maybe we want to wait to see where this court case goes before we reach out and trade for Deshaun Watson. Shoop's thing is like, do you really want to go there at this point? Deshaun Watson's an unbelievable talent, but that's a lot of baggage to bring with you. But David Tepper, Panthers owner, this guy doesn't mess around. He's the second richest owner in the NFL. He's like worth $11 billion. He can afford to do whatever he wants to do. And reportedly, he wants the Panthers to look into a deal for Deshaun Watson. Should the Panthers go this route?
I think they should. I mean, he's clearly an upgrade over what they have now. Sam Darnold benched yesterday. Now, I don't know this for sure, and the legal matters are obviously a huge obstacle. I agree with both Chris and Shoop on this. The Panthers cannot afford to trade whatever it would take, reportedly up to 3 first-round draft picks. They can't afford to part with that and then have Deshaun Watson sit out or be suspended or worse because of these legal matters. My suspicion, again, I have nothing to confirm this, but if the Dolphins and the Panthers and any other teams are talking about making a trade, it's possible that maybe they know or the Texans have revealed some things that haven't been reported. Maybe, Watson's on the verge of settling here, so that'll make these cases go away. Because I certainly agree. It's a huge risk for the Panthers to take, but it is a great fit. And we've been talking for the better part of a year that David Tepper wants Deshaun Watson. He wants to make a big splash. I think it's pretty clear. Sam Darnold's not going to be the long-term answer, although the Panthers are committed to him for next season. I just think it would be a huge, not only are you getting one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL when he's on the field, he's a local product. It would be a hugely popular move. I think the Panthers are going to pursue this pretty heavily.
Whew, man, we'll see. Now, look, I understand it. I'm not really comfortable given Deshaun Watson's background or right now with this, trial going, or rather these charges, no trial yet, but also with the Panthers' history. Jerry Richardson, in essence, had an issue with sexual harassment. And so the history with this team, at the end of the day, Ian, right, you and I would probably both agree, if they got Deshaun Watson and he started winning with the Panthers, it's easy to put that stuff aside, a lot of fans. So not quite sure where that's going to go, but we'll figure it out and see where it goes, because that's a lot going on. Always appreciate you, my friend, making it happen. Hey, we'll catch up. Let's see here. Probably a couple of Mondays down the road. We'll talk more baseball. And by then, we'll be wrapping up the World Series.
Yeah, we'll know who won it all. Hopefully, I know Braves fans are excited. Enjoy your vacation.
Oh, I will. And by the way, I didn't think I got your World Series pick. Who do you like in this one?
Boy, on paper, the Astros look like it, but I'm going with the big momentum here. The Braves have exceeded expectations, my expectations anyway, all season, and I think there's something here. I think they're gonna beat the Astros. All
right, man. Let's hope so. Hey, can't thank you enough. Appreciate you, and we'll catch up in a couple of weeks, buddy.
Okay. Take care, Pat.
Thank you, Ian. You take care too, man. Ian Castleberry writes for awfulannouncing.com and also thecomeback.com, two national pop culture and sports websites. Really talented guy.